This is the Relentless podcast. My name is Christine. I'm a small business owner and student of success. I have become obsessed with talking with other entrepreneurs about their strategies, struggles, tactics, and routines. One of the key qualities that all of these individuals have in common, their ability to be relentless. Welcome back to the Relentless podcast. I'm Christine VanDusen, and I am joined here in the hot summer. It's about 91 degrees today. And I am joined here by Paige Montgomery. She is the owner of the Sprinkle Starship ice cream truck business here in the Finger Lakes. Hello, Paige.
Hi.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So I have to start this out. I don't know if I'm sure you remember our meeting, but when you were probably 17 and a senior in high school, one of the advisors from the local high school had approached me and said, there's this really great girl and she has this business idea. She wants to start an ice cream truck business. And would you be willing to sit down and talk with her and kind of see where she's at? And I was like, oh my God, she's that young and she wants to start a business? Yes, that sounds awesome. And so in you walked and told me about that idea. And I was just so impressed with you at the time because when I was 17, I don't think I thought further than what our plans were for the weekend. So tell us about yourself. What was it that made you want to start up this business?
I didn't really have plans for my future, kind of like everyone else. Want to go to college and have a career. And the idea was mostly a joke. And then I sat on it for, I joked about it and I thought about it genuinely, and it seemed like a feasible idea.
Yeah.
And I talked to my dad about it, and he's an idea man, and he loves brainstorming and stuff like that. And he thought it was a great idea, so he kind of helped me get the tools to get going.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it just kind of happened.
Well, I mean, hey, that's how many of the best businesses start. And so your business is, if you haven't seen the trucks, it's like covered in rainbows and it's just very bright and fun and cheerful. Is that an expression of your personality? Was that like an ironic thing? Like how did you come up with that design?
I don't know. I'm an artist and I feel like my art is very colorful and bright, and obviously I had a blank canvas. So I just went ham and I had friends paint on it.
Yeah.
And I'm still adding to it every day.
Yeah.
Try to cover it up.
That's so much fun. So when you said that your dad is an idea guy, did you have any friends or family who were like, Paige, you're crazy. You're 17. Like, okay, yeah, this will be a fun little summer thing. But
my mom was so against it because she thought I was going to go bankrupt. And so,
yeah.
I mean, she's so supportive right now, and she gets her ice cream from me all the time. But yeah, a lot of my friends were supportive and still are. I have a lot of people helping me out.
Yeah. And are you just good at knowing what's going to work, or do you just block out the noise and just say, I'll figure it out? Or how did you deal with that?
Figure out building it or operating?
Just kind of tune out the people who doubted that it would work.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I kind of presented my idea and my plans. This is what I want to do. This is what it's going to look like. I'm going to build it using this, that, the other thing.
Yeah.
And obviously, I don't know.
Yeah, you just kind of figure things out as you go. I know when I got into my business, I was in college and I was working as a secretary in the school district here in Seneca Falls. And I was going through a medical issue and I could no longer work full time, or at least that's what I was told at the time. And I'm a doer. I have to do things. And so I was making jewelry, and I remember I said to my mom, I was like, maybe I can add some other inventory and just set up a little shop and sell the jewelry. And I had this whole, I remember writing it all out. I can buy a purse at this price and then sell it at this price. And this is the profit. And I had it all presented. And she was like, oh my gosh, do you know how many necklaces you have to sell just to make rent, honey? And she's literally the biggest hype woman. She's my biggest supporter. But it's like, as a parent, they're scared for you because they don't want to see you fail. That's like there's the safe route, and then there's entrepreneurship, and it can be scary. So, but I'm just so impressed with how you did it at such a young age, and like I say, just to have the foresight. Now, one of the things I remember that I told you when we chatted was, I said, if you do nothing else, promote yourself on social media.
Yeah.
Like, that is like such a big key. Obviously, you probably already had that in your plan, but is that a big part of your business?
Oh yeah, I post about every day about my like where I'm gonna be, so people can make sure they stop by and everything. And like I'm always doing new stuff too, so I try to promote that as well.
Yeah. I mean, and you're just sought after. People try to get you for birthday parties. And I mean, you go all over the Finger Lakes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. So are you most active on Facebook or TikTok? What's your favorite app of choice?
I have Instagram and Facebook linked, so whatever I post on one, it goes on the other.
Okay.
But my TikTok has blown up. The first video I posted got 1 million views.
Oh my gosh.
I don't really post on it that as often as I should, because
Okay.
creating content is sometimes a lot of work.
Yes.
But it's easier just to like throw a picture on Facebook, like I'm gonna be here, here, here.
Yeah.
Come get your sundae.
Yeah.
Your t-shirts.
Well, and we found too that like the different apps kind of are looking for different things. Because for a while we were just taking our Instagram reels or Facebook stuff and just posting it on TikTok. But I feel like the viewership is a little bit different. And like the thing that the videos I like to see most on TikTok are, I feel like that's when you get to really like know the person behind the brand and like, oh, how do you open up the truck for the day? How do you know what I mean? And see stuff like that. So does your TikTok show any more like behind the scenes of what Paige does?
I used to do like an ice cream order thing, and then I do like a get ready with me. So I stock my truck.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes I make videos of me making my t-shirts. Sometimes I have my boyfriend come with me on the truck, and he just like records everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that stuff's great. So I'm gonna have to follow you on TikTok because I'm 36. I don't like to admit that, but my staff is all in their 20s, and so they kind of got me on there, and I'm still learning. I feel like social media and all the apps, they just change so much, but it's just so important because you can reach people that you might not normally reach. So. Now we talked a little bit about your brand. It's so cheerful. It's so fun. And you mentioned to me before coming on today that you don't love public speaking and are a little bit of an introvert. So how do you deal with being in the public eye and putting yourself out there on social media?
It's so random because I'll see people everywhere, like Walmart, walking down the street, and people will be like, hey, where's my milkshake?
Yeah, they know you.
I don't know. It's definitely weird because I never thought I would be somebody like.
Yeah. Do you
know.
think it's good that it almost like forced you out of your shell a little bit?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. It's really interesting because I feel like, you meet people that maybe you wouldn't have met. I mean, you and I certainly wouldn't have met. I've been cheering you on from the beginning. And I just think it's a cool thing because you have this thing that's like your baby, this business, and these people know you for that. And it's such a good connection to have, especially because you're at birthday parties and you're at all these fun events for people. So you get to see them at their best.
And I watch kids grow up now.
Yeah.
Like I was at this kid's 3rd birthday party, and I saw him, and he's like 8 now, I think.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's fun to...
Maybe 5. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't
So now, being an ice cream business, that is seasonal, obviously. We live in New York State, so it's probably, during the warmer months. So what do you do to stay busy during the off months?
This last winter, I went on a road trip. I drove all the way to Florida and to Utah and back.
Oh my gosh.
So this winter, I'm hopefully going to try and get a job and then work on building my 2nd truck. So
Okay.
I want to stay busy.
Yeah. Did you document that trip?
My boyfriend did. He did like a everyday kind of thing. we had a lot of fun and a lot of troubles. Like we had to buy a new car.
Oh my gosh, on the trip.
Yeah.
So it just broke down on the way.
Yeah. I drove to Florida and he flew down to meet me.
Okay.
And like an hour after picking up from the airport, our car was
Oh my
not
gosh.
working.
So the trip was off to a great start.
Yeah.
Well, being in business, you know how to pivot. So you knew, you'd figure it out. Now, do you have any like shorter term or any long-term goals for the business? Like, because you have one truck now, do you ever imagine like having other people driving your trucks around?
Yeah,
Is that
that's something I'm really trying to work on.
okay?
I definitely want to bring people on board.
Yeah.
Then I'm building a second truck. I just started like actively putting it in the works. And so I want to bring people on board. I want to make my own ice cream. There's a lot of things I want to do.
Yeah, I know it's difficult because, most people, when we start these smaller businesses, we don't have investors. We don't have the ability to like hire a team right off the bat necessarily. So, you have to kind of gauge working in the business and then taking certain parts to reinvest. But you also, it's how you earn a living. So it's a process. But do you have you given yourself a timeline or I'll say my 1 year goal is this, my 5 year is this.
I'm kind of working on that now.
Yeah.
I'm currently creating like a vision board, like cool Sundays I want to make, or this, just like a lot of goals in mind.
Yeah.
I was gonna try and do it next season, bring somebody on board, but I'm thinking like I might start doing it now. Just,
yeah.
Test somebody out, learn with them what I have to do.
Yeah. Well, and one piece of advice that someone told me that I found out to be true is one of the things that held me back from hiring staff right away is I would say, for example, okay, we've done $100,000 in sales this year. How am I going to pay someone $30,000 of that? And I'm doing that calculation, and then I'm not thinking about it but if I bring on that person, we might be doing $150,000 because we're doing so much more with, you know what I'm saying? And I just saw the business grow so much faster with that little bit of help. And it's interesting because then you have to kind of learn to delegate and let go certain things from. So it's very interesting to transition from doing it all yourself to having someone, but that'll be really exciting.
Yeah. Some days I work like 15 hours, so an extra hand would be greatly appreciated.
You're like, I'm fine with it. I'll pay whatever. Now, do you have a mentor? Do you listen to podcasts? Where do you get your ideas and inspiration from?
I don't know. I see what other people do. I'm on a Facebook group for ice cream trucks, and there's a lot of like conversation on there. Most people don't really have as many options as I do.
Sure.
Like I look at ice cream shops and they're making their own ice cream. They're putting all sorts of fun things in it, like ice cream cookie sandwiches. And I've gotten a lot of requests from my customers, like, you should do this, hot fudge.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I like hearing what people want.
Yeah. Yeah. Listening to customer feedback is so crucial. And it's funny because there were certain times when I think I was just younger and maybe not as wise. People would be like, you should do this and you should do that. And I would get almost annoyed by it. Like, oh, are they telling me I'm not doing this right? But the truth is, being able to listen to feedback can be so valuable, and to say, oh, I never thought of doing it this way. And, you don't have to take everything they say, but it can definitely lead you to some new and better things for sure. So what has been your biggest struggle in business?
Just one of the struggles right now is my truck. Having that be consistently working every day.
Yeah.
And the truck is everything. It's how I get to people.
Yeah.
It's hard to stay positive and like come up with alternatives to keep going, to keep working for the rest of the winter or summer, because I want to continue doing this.
Yeah.
it's hard to just stay positive and optimistic throughout
Yeah.
struggles.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, like I say, I stumbled into this. I wasn't like you where I just had this vision and this dream. It was kind of just like I started with this little thing and then I was like, oh, maybe I could do this. Maybe I could try that. And, we've been through a pandemic. We've moved the business. I've had, some staffing things. We've had, government intervention. We've had just all sorts of things. We're in a tough economy right now. And it's like, you'll think something's going great, and then I'll walk in my store and there was a leak overnight. Like stuff just happens all the time. And it's hard because, you're the one who has to fix it. Sometimes it'd just be so nice to be like, all right, I got to call somebody to take care of this for me. But I just feel like it builds character and it builds resilience. And I feel like going through all of it has made me feel a little bit more capable of dealing with all the things life has to throw at you, right?
Right.
Yeah. Now, how long have you been with your boyfriend?
We've known each other probably 5 years.
Okay.
We've been dating for 3 consistently.
And it sounds like he's supportive of the business.
Oh, yeah.
and takes part. Do you guys ever work together?
No, he has his own business right now.
Oh, okay.
He's a chimney sweep, but he's a mason, so he builds chimneys, he sweeps it, he does a lot of stonework.
Interesting. Okay, that's so cool. Yeah, my husband is in business as well, but we kind of stay in our own lanes. We work together sometimes. We used to do a lot of wedding photography together and stuff, but it can be tough. It's got its positives and negatives working with a spouse, So sometimes it's good to keep it separate and hire staff that has the same vision. So with you guys both being entrepreneurs, is it hard to find time to be together when you're constantly working?
Right now, it's both our busy seasons.
Yeah.
But we'll plan things to see each other.
Yeah. So I mentioned that you started this business when you were 17, and I was thinking, right, it was 17?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was thinking about it because, like I say, you're such a fun and unique and different person. And it's very attractive. And like I say, you've embodied that in your brand. And, when I was 17, it was almost like everybody was praised for being the same. Mm-hmm. Everybody kind of shopped at the same stores and had the same, 4 haircuts and did the same things. And as you get older, it's almost like being unique and being different and standing out is celebrated more. Have you found that?
Yeah. When I was younger, I always thought I wasn't like anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of come to my benefit.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it makes you stand out, and my favorite people are people who are different. I say all the time, I'm like, I just love hearing someone nerd out on something. It's just so much fun to me. It's so interesting. And seeing people who are passionate about something, it's just such a better way to live, I think, Well, this has been so much fun. I end every interview with some rapid fire questions. So you'll have to answer in 1 word, 1 sentence. Do you think you're up to it?
I can do that.
Okay. So what is something that you believed about business when you started that you no longer believe?
That it was going to be easy.
Yeah. Lots of challenges. What is the biggest lie that someone told you or you heard about entrepreneurship? Or the worst piece of advice you received?
That the customer is always right.
Yeah. Yeah. And what do you do if you know they're wrong, right?
I try to let them have their...
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I worked at Cicino's when I was a teenager as a waitress, and Sal, the owner there, he's a friend, and he was a master at telling us how to work with customers, and that the customer, you got to let them have that one. Now, I asked you before, you said you have a Facebook group. Is there anywhere else that you go to sharpen your skills? Are you reading any books or listening to anything? Following anyone on TikTok?
Sharpen my skills. In the future, I want to do go back to school, I think.
Okay.
Not anything currently, though.
Yeah. Do you think you'd go for business?
I'm thinking culinary, actually.
Okay.
I want to implement that into what I'm doing now.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Now, if someone approached you and said, Paige, there's this 17-year-old who is starting a business and I would love for them to talk to you and get some advice, what would you tell them?
This has actually happened recently.
It has. Okay. Let's hear it.
The first thing I did was go to the health department.
Okay.
And that's definitely important because everywhere is different.
Yeah.
Obviously, write a business plan. You got to figure out what you want to sell, what you want everything to look like.
Plan it out.
Plan it out. That's important.
Yeah. All right. Well, so the last few years, I'm sure, as you said, have had a lot of ups and downs, and he's made some sacrifices and been through some stress. Has it been worth it?
Definitely.
Yeah. So you want to keep this thing going, right?
Oh, yeah. That's why I'm working so hard right now.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you, has it been 5 years since we had our talk? How old are you now?
I'm 22.
Okay. Yeah. So it's been about that long. So yeah, that would be my current piece of advice is just keep working hard and keep reinvesting, and
Right.
you'll see it grow. Well, I'm so proud of you, and I don't say that in a condescending way, but it's just so cool to be sitting down with you here talking to you as the business owner that you were dreaming of the first time we talked. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And if you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on all the socials. Thanks for watching and listening. Be sure to follow us on all the socials: YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook.